I'm excited to say, it is football time in Tennessee finally.
Mm-hmm.
Um, can't wait to get this season started. It's high expectations with a new 12-team playoff, Bob,
Okay.
and I firmly expect to be in the mix and the run for it. And it starts this weekend. We're playing Chattanooga Mocs, really a good quality FCS team.
Right.
But I mean, it shouldn't be a really super competitive game. But what I'm wondering about this game, other than Nico, I ain't gonna say people, Nico Iamaleava,
No, there you go.
the first time I've ever been able to say this on camera,
Say
it's
it
a
pretty decent.
good
Okay.
sign. I will say it's off camera all the time. It's a great sign, but we know people are going to be talking about him. But who else are we going to be talking about? What else are we going to be talking about come Sunday around at church, Monday around the water coolers? Uh, so let's kind of dive into that, Bob. Who is going to catch your eye, you think, this weekend?
Yeah, Tim. First, let's talk a little bit about Chattanooga.
Oh yeah,
What to know about them. There's not a whole lot. Okay, but they are preseason ranked number 8 in the FCS rankings.
very good. They're a
Yeah,
quality team for
yeah.
that level.
3 returning all conference players, and center Reed Williams, defensive tackle Marlon Taylor, decent sized guy. I think he's like 6'2", 317. And speedster Javon
What?
Watley. I think he's like 5'10", speedster. He had like a 54-yard catch against Bama last year. And that's something else. When I looked at this game, who had they played of our caliber last year. Bama beat them 66-10. Give you a little bit of reference for that. And we're 41.5 point favorites in this game. So I always look at those kind of things because I'm trying to see, you know,
You can just dive in and get every bit of information
sometimes
you
with
can
these
get.
these teams like this, you really don't know how good they are. So we're 41.5 point favorites. We win by more than 41.5. I felt like we had a good game. If we don't, then we didn't.
Well, what you really mean to say is, if they cover the spread and you win some money, you feel like we had a really good game, and if they didn't, then we suck.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
You know, Bob, one thing that you found that interested me,
hmm
and that was surprisingly, Alabama didn't have a single sack in that game.
Yeah, they did.
Only 2 tackle for losses.
I know that did surprise me because when I was doing my little, preview of this game, thinking about what was going to happen, uh, I was thinking sack, 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 sack. I mean, I thought
And I kind of still do, to be
I
honest
kind
with
of still do. I mean, I have a hard time believing we don't get quite a few. But and I think you've even said that you thought we break the UT record for sacks this year.
you. I do. If I had a hot take for the year that I feel pretty comfortable about, I believe, because one thing I think we're going to have a couple extra games compared to very
Oh yeah,
possibly.
that's true. Yeah,
Uh,
17 games. Oh,
that's right. Hopefully 17 games.
right.
Uh, but with this style of offense, we jump out on people and you know, people pass more anyway.
Mhm.
And then when we get in front of people, they're going to have to pass to try to catch up.
Right.
And Heupel has recruited headhunters.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Um, absolutely. And there's several guys who, like I think what you're saying was who shows out in this game. You know, who besides Nico? Obviously, everybody's going to be talking about Nico. I mean, how did he look? Is he overrated? Is he a future superstar? That's going to be most of the talk. But
And there's going to be overreaction.
oh yeah, either way.
Yeah.
But who other than him will people be talking about? Will it be a running back? Will it be a wide receiver?
Well, that's a good question, guys. In the comments, leave us the guy or two that you think people's going to be talking about after this game this
Mm-hmm.
weekend.
Right.
Who are we going to be too excited about or too down on?
Absolutely.
Because there's going to be both.
Right.
Who do you got, Bob, right off the top of your head?
Well, first of all, let me just say, remember, guys, to like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell. We appreciate every bit of that.
Absolutely.
And who do I think, Tim? I'm going to go out and say Deshaun Bishop on offense. mainly because I think he's going to get the most reps at running back. I think we'll have probably 5 guys get reps in this game, but I don't think a lot of them will get many. Bishop, I think, might be the only guy that gets double digits. And yeah, I tell you another guy who I think might do well is I'm gonna look for Boo Carter to make some plays. I feel like he's a playmaker, and if anybody's listening to me talk about him, I think he's a future star, and I think he's gonna get plenty of reps because they're wanting to see he needs reps.
He needs
That's
reps.
the only thing he
This is
needs.
his opportunity for it.
He's got the talent is absolutely there. Game reps is what he needs, and I think he'll get plenty of game reps.
Yeah, I expect him to flash. I guess for me, Bob, one guy's kind of jumped in my mind that I think we'll be talking about will be Josh Joseph.
Hmm.
I don't expect Pierce to get a whole lot of run in this game.
Right.
We're going to be playing a lot of guys on that defensive line, obviously, every single week. But we're going to see. I think Joseph has a bounce back year, number one, and I think it
Yeah.
starts this weekend.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that a bit, Tim. Um, you know, I think a guy you mentioned earlier, and I'm gonna go 2 guys here. I won't steal your Brazel, or you can mention Brazel. I think you think he's gonna have a big game.
Well, I do. We returned Squirrel, who's our leading receiver from last year.
Right.
We returned Brew, who probably would have been our leading receiver last year
Right.
without the injury.
Right.
Um, but I think Brazel is going to be the guy that other teams have to uh, try to figure out how to stop. I expect a big year out of him.
I do too, Tim. I really think Brazel will be. He may not lead us in catches, yards, or touchdowns, but he will lead us in something. Not touchdowns, that kind of thing. But the slot guy in this offense, usually the guy that leads you in touchdowns. But Brazel, man, I've just seen too many highlights. Heard he had too many highlight catches in fall camp and spring. I think he's going to be our leading receiver this year.
Well, from the ones that people have to watch for at least.
I think so.
Uh,
Another guy, though, I was about to mention a second ago was Mike Matthews, because I think he's going to get plenty of run in the particularly second half. The guy's scored touchdown pretty much every scrimmage he's ever been in. So uh, I think he's just a playmaker. I think he's a future star here. I think if we just didn't have Brew McCoy, Squirrel White, Thornton, Brazel.
well, he's not going into an empty cupboard, that's for sure.
No, but you're going to see plenty of him this year. Even I don't see him redshirting.
No. We'll say this, though, Bob, and it's not just about players. Who do you think, what do you think people are going to be talking about or overreacting to also? Is there any particular things that you're looking for?
Well, I think everybody's going to be looking at the secondary. How do we do there? Especially to me, I feel like the corners are going to be really good. I really do.
Agreed.
I think Gibson and McCoy, I think they're future NFL guys. I really do. I think we're good there. Um, how does Turrentine play? How does Will Brooks play? How does John Slaughter, which I think is the most talented of those 3 safeties, but needs game reps, and hopefully he gets a lot tomorrow. Hopefully, or Saturday. Hopefully, it's not a situation like last year where we played Walker and McCullough 98% of the reps, even when we're up 40-something points.
Yeah. You know what, though? I think what I'm looking for is the overreaction to the secondary. The first time we give up a 7-yard completion, you swear run to the boards, the message boards. You're going to see people talking about the sky's falling. We suck. We suck.
We'll have some ridiculous hot takes. I'll try not to do it.
Yeah, try to keep off the board.
Off the board. Yeah, I'll try not to. But yeah, I agree with you, Sam. Secondary's gonna be under a spotlight for sure. And like we said, Nico, how does the offensive line look and all that? You got any kind of score prediction, Tim?
Uh, let's go about 63-3.
Okay. I'll go 59. I'm going to go 59-3. I mean, I know this team
You know, I agree with you, Bob, but let me back up. 59, because we're going to give the kicker its opportunity to kick a field goal.
I think so. I think they will. I mean, I would if I was head coach. If there's any point there's a fourth down anywhere near field goal range, I'm giving our kicker a chance.
Yeah, I agree 100%, Bob. You don't want his first pressure
Kicker,
kick
yeah,
to be in a game that could be a game-winning situation.
right. Yeah, Tim, I agree with that. I'll be curious. I think I've told you and told some other people. I feel like we will have some shutout or two this year, or we'll have more than two games this year where we'll hold the opponent to 3 points or less. And the mainly reason I say that is our third and fourth string defensive line is probably better than what our first string defensive line was probably
A few years back,
15 out of the last 20 years.
you may
You
be
know,
right.
so when you got uh, Caleb Herring or Tyree Weathersby or Jordan Ross in there, Jackson Moy or five-star David Hobbs in there in the third string defensive line, that's some talent, man. It's some ability. Um, I would hate to be, these a lot of these offensive lines going to be like, okay, I got a breather, we got a second team guy in here, we got a third team guy in here.
No breathers.
No
No
breathers.
breathers. Hey, speaking of breathers, you reckon Florida State's still breathing? Let's talk about week 0 for a
I
second.
tell you what, that's kind of helped us a little bit, Tim. I believe that might help us a little bit. Long season to go forward, so we don't really know exactly, but we felt like we need some ACC and some Big 12 teams to get
Yeah.
multiple losses.
Well, you only want one person out of each of those conferences making the playoffs. You do not want like Florida State to be sitting there at 11 and or 12 and 1, 11 and 1, whatever the case may be, uh, outside the playoff picture, and then the people going, well, let's make it up for last year.
Right, right.
You know,
Well, I mean, Kirk Herbstreit, predicted his top 12 teams, and he only had three SEC teams in there. One of them wasn't Tennessee, so
and that's a possibility. I mean,
that's the reason why you want teams like Florida State, you want Clemson. We play NC State, uh, the Virginia Techs. You want, uh, I don't know who in the Big 12 is going to win that thing, but it's okay for whoever to win it,
fine, that's fine.
whatever. But you don't want them to get that second team in. You don't want them to have a
Yeah, because I expect Notre Dame to be in. I expect,
yeah,
with that schedule that they have, and Big Ten's going to get multiple teams in. So
right,
if it, and then you get the group of 5. I mean, before you know it, man, there's the 12 teams are going to be accounted for. So,
right.
but week 0, I think, started out about as well as week 1. That Georgia Tech really shocked at Florida State, and Florida State honestly just didn't look. They were overrated.
We almost had another big surprise last night. I mean, I know it's the lower level teams, but SMU's been pretty decent. They was playing Nevada last night, and they was 28-point favorites, and they had to score at the very end of the ball game to win it. So, I know we're talking about Tennessee in this game here, but it was some surprises in week 0.
Well, they always are, though. Yeah, I mean, you'll see more upsets in the first week or two, uh, and we'll see it again this year. I guarantee you, here in week 1, this coming weekend, it's going to be full of some upsets. There's no way around it.
Some nail biters, yeah, I agree.
So, guys, I think at this point, the only thing left to say is let's go get us that undefeated season, baby.
That's right.
Go Big Orange.
It's football time, Tennessee. I'm ready. I'm sure all y'all are. I'm excited for the season. I think we're going to be outstanding this year. And like you said, Tim, go Vols.